message to all the veterans out there is you really want to find that community that keeps you grounded in who you were and who you are today. My name is Zeeshan Parvez. I'm a PhD student at UCLA, and I'm currently studying materials chemistry and clumped isotope geochemistry. Basically, 10, 15 years, high school, graduated, went to the military rather than the traditional path of going to college, served in the Marine Special Operations Command with the United States Marine Corps for 4 years, approximately 4 years, and got out, went to Penn State for my undergrad in chemical engineering, did my master's and MBA UI at University of Rhode Island, and now I'm here doing a PhD. Rhode Island is my home. Grew up in the smallest state. For me, I've always had an affinity to the military. My father was really big on trying to get me into the Air Force to be a pilot, which was his dream, but he never really got the chance because his parents never really supported that, especially in the Pakistani military. I mean, I guess I was polarized by the special operations teams. Back then it was Marine Force Recon and Air Force Pararescue. I always wanted to see if I could do it. Got through the basic training down at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, which ironically is the Marine Corps base. And then, I went to an advanced training that was explosive ordnance disposal down in Virginia Beach, which was also the recon base. So went through a lot of physical and mental rigors during that course. It's not just being physically fit, it's being mentally fit. It's a tough path, especially when you're young, because you don't have the experience. So you gotta compensate with that, with your physical fitness, mental fitness, and also intellect. So yeah, that kind of really set my path forward. I performed pretty well in the class, and I was like, hey, this is for me. Getting out of the military is kind of tough. So old habits die really hard. Some of them honestly still stick to this day. So I made a map of all the locations on campus, knew everything about it, did the whole reconnaissance work. Getting out, you are kind of like that. You're programmed, you don't lose that stuff. So I tried to make friends with some of my peers. Imagine this. You have X amount of experience overseas doing all this stuff in clandestine operations. Now your peers are 18-year-old high school students or just got out of high school and actually don't even know what they're doing with their lives. Oh my God, it was tough to connect. It was an uphill battle the entire way. And honestly, the thing that kind of got me out of that, it was the community that kind of supported me. For me, it was a fraternity. It is a South Asian interest fraternity, and basically it's a social fraternity. It wasn't an academic version of it and so forth. It was a social fraternity that just really building up the brothers into just professionals. It was tough, but yeah, I had peers that went through the same process, and they helped me out with that. So yeah, the community that I was a part of, the fraternity, saved me. I started skydiving a long time ago, on and off, and then I got here, and skydiving is year-round. So I was able to kind of do it more and more, and I started developing a community of friends that were in that arena, that were doing the same thing. So I got into this more exotic form called base jumping. Base stands for building antenna span in the earth. One parachute for everything, and if that doesn't work, that's it. Yeah, it really brought me back to what I was, what I had there. It was a sense of like fulfillment, a sense of like belonging in a community, and we all watch each other's backs.
So green STEM specifically, there's a need for it. CO2 sequestration, removal of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, greenhouse gas reduction, kind of like reducing our actual impact because it is actually an important thing. And that's where the industry is going, and that's kind of what I started realizing, that, hey, maybe I should start moving into this realm rather than looking at where the industry was. it's starting to get attention, and especially in our lifetime. So the research I'm doing right now is kind of focusing on a section of the cedars in the Northern California region. Basically, it's a site of interest for CO2 sequestration, and we're approaching it from a clumped isotope type of field of view, a different field of view that kind of will hopefully show us if there's a feasibility in how the CO2 transforms as it goes through the system. Analyzing CO2 transformation to carbonates, that's a way to sequester CO2, chemically converted from a gas to a solid. And that's the process we're looking at in a geological scope, and something that doesn't require as much overhead as like taking it from the atmosphere and using sorbents to pull CO2 out, because all that costs money, and you can eventually get to a point where it's just way too expensive.
The Veterans of STEM initiative that I'm starting is for, honestly, basically veterans who've gone through the same thing. Scientific majors are tough to transition into because a lot of veterans don't have that background. And that's a lot of the issues with veterans. They don't feel like they belong. My message to all the veterans out there is you really want to find that community that keeps you grounded in who you were and who you are today. But realize that there are people out there that will help you get through these issues, get through these transitional issues, and just put you on a path to succeed. Not just succeed, but to flourish. You all have the resources, you all have the skill set from the military. It's just finding a way to apply them outside.